Welcome, everyone. We are here talking about a very important quote that has been attached to many things, but to thine own self be true, attributed to William Shakespeare. This is Life of Giants. And with me, of course, I am Dino the Genetic Marvel, and there's Cole Clayton, the Sniffer Glue 22. And in the bottom, we have Marco Torres from Upside Down Studios. Yeah. So we were debating about a few different quotes, and I think the idea of "to thine own self be true" is the fact that a lot of people. I also attribute that to the idea that nobody, like, it's none of your business what other people think of you. You know, you're on your own journey, do your own thing, but be true to your own principles, your own, thing.
Whoa. Did you just say it's none of your business what others think of you?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a crazy, wild, something I've never heard before. That's kind of cool. That's a cool statement.
Well, see, there's two lines of thinking on that, because a lot of people got this, don't give a fuck what everybody thinks about you and don't, do your own thing. But then if you realize it, especially us three, we all know we are not like everybody else. We are not
True.
the norm. We do not fit in the society's fucking little puzzle.
Factual.
We don't even go together.
Most people who don't are ostracized.
Correct.
If to thine own self be true, yeah, but I mean, today's society is to thine own society be true, or you get fucking ostracized.
Yes. Well, I like, this is the thing too, right? Like, a lot of the times people try and push their values on others, and when the fact is you should be pushing your values on yourself. I always, like, I tell the joke where I'm like, you can tell how shitty of a person was by how religious they get as they get older. Right? This is, and hilariously, the people who are not religious at all later in life, they're fine with what they've done in life. They're okay.
I see my mama right now. She's wrapped in rosaries. She got the Bible open. She got I'm like, yeah. You're the people see my mom and oh, she's so sweet. No, that's just an old bitch trying to get into heaven right now.
Well, there you go.
Trying to clean up,
Yeah, I mean,
that's like getting religious at the end is the same idea as like cleaning your house right before guests come over. Like,
I would say it's more like cleaning the house before your cleaner arrives. It's not like it's crazy. So Victoria says, I think we are closer as a society to be able to be true to thy own self. Look at the people who identify as a colander. I mean, so to a degree, right? So
we're kind of going back on that, though, right?
Well, I'm not sure.
Pushing back on that.
Well, like, look, the some people are like, I have to poop in a litter box, and you're like, that's insane, right? You have a mental problem. You're crazy, right?
But yeah, but if they're staying true to themselves, they'll shit in a litter box.
Well, I like who is it? Who's the little guy that goes with Adam Sandler? Not David Spade, the other one, the one who is a gigolo. Yeah.
Rob Schneider.
Rob Schneider.
That's right.
So Rob Schneider was in one of those universities talking to all the crazy kids, and he goes, "So my kid wants to be a pirate. Okay, at what point is it okay for me to poke out his eye and chop off one of his legs so he looks like a pirate?" And everyone's like,
"That's not what a pirate is anymore.
A pirate is a skinny
black dude with a fucking M16 on a raft."
That's a land pirate, sir, or a Somali pirate. Those are not the same.
Somali pirate. That's the only pirate left.
That would be cultural appropriation. Yeah, well, that's cultural appropriation to the.
No, we gotta push back on. We gotta push back on a lot of that shit for other reasons. Like, go back to shitting in the litter box. Like, we invented plumbing because it kept us from catching diseases.
Correct.
Like
as a society.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, there's a lot of Asian nations that I've noticed that have real high-end hotels and shit like that, but their toilet is just a it's a ceramic floor with a hole in it.
Yes.
And you can squat.
Still plumbing. Just because it's not and technically it is better for your body to squat when you poop. So
yeah, but they figured out if you just get a pooping stool, it's the same thing.
I remember being young and fat and going to a toilet, and it was just like 2-foot places and a hole, and I'm like, I'm not flexible enough to use this, and I'm like, and you don't have a string for me to hold on to the door so I don't drop my ass in this thing. I'm like, I'm holding it for a couple days. That's what happened. But I don't know. Like, what would you like? For me, that statement, the idea of being true to thy own self, is that like you have principles that you will live and you will die for. That's what that means to me, right? And I've never been afraid of that idea. I'm like, no, I'll stand by my principles. And if it means the firing squad, so be it. But those are my, like, I'll die because I know that's to be true or correct at that level.
If you want to live by a cause, you need to be willing to die by that cause.
Correct.
Yeah, but you also got to stay open-minded enough to know, hey, wait a minute. Let me eyeball this cause for you. Got to take, like reconcile it for every few fucking years. Like, is this still?
But that goes back to what we were saying a few weeks ago, which is you got to be able to be willing to negotiate. Sometimes instead of fight. Like even though you have this cause, you still have to be willing to negotiate the cause. Sure. It's a win for both sides. Sometimes, even if your enemy is on the other side, you still need to be willing to negotiate. Otherwise, you get scorched earth.
Right. That's almost like what Trump said. You want me to talk shit about Putin, but then you want me to go and negotiate with him. It don't work that way.
Well, right. And that's the real thing, right? Like we saw many politicians where it was like a child was helped with their cancer treatment, and they're like, no, because you did it, I'm not going to clap. And you're like, you're delusional now.
No, you know what the problem is? I can tell you what the problem is.
Women.
We let women vote. That's the problem. Get women out of politics. Totally. And then we don't have to talk shit about our enemies anymore. We can negotiate with our enemies without having to talk shit.
Well, see, there's two things, is that we have people who are voicing opinion and making law who don't have a horse in the game. Right?
Marco is dying right there.
Marco might be dying. It's okay. If anyone watched our show earlier today, you should know that Marco's friends at the NSA are alive and well and have a renewed interest.
Oh, they got him.
Activities.
They got him today.
Bro, like 9 times. It was mental.
Yeah, they
didn't even talk about anything crazy.
Yeah. They even shut Dino down fucking once.
Yeah. I was stuck like this. That is not a good look for me. But this is the thing, is we have people making laws who don't have any skin in the game. We have people making decisions or voicing opinions, again, no skin in the game. And like there's that idea, like in Super Troopers, or not Super Troopers, Starship Troopers. That was the movie where it was like you had to have military service to be able to have a family, to vote. You had to serve for for mankind. Okay. Otherwise, you didn't have those privileges. And you're like, there's a certain perspective there that works, because you're like, listen, if you want these things, this is how you get them. Ta-da. And now, especially right now, where the waters have been so very muddied with everyone's thoughts and opinions, that no one has a clear way of doing things. Remember, like, look, Marco remembers this time. I remember these times where it's like, hey, you find a company, you get a good job, you work hard, you put in the extra time, and you know what? They'll take care of you. And you know what? You can live a long, happy life, and you can enjoy. But you're like, yeah, those are gone.
That's never been available to me.
No,
I'm in my 30s now.
That's how it was when we were growing up. Like for instance, the main two over here were Packard and GM Lordstown.
Yep.
If you got into one of those, I mean, even if the company did you shitty in your eyes, you were always doing better than everybody else. Yep. No matter what. Once you got into Lordstown, you knew damn well you're going to be able to get that new house. You knew damn well your kids were going to be riding the limo to the prom. You knew you could get extra cheese on your pizza.
And to be clear, Cole, so you understand as well, that opportunity is no longer available to us either. It's
No,
gone.
I know. I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's-
saying that it's. I'm just saying that has never been available to me, and I'm in my 30s. That's how
Yeah.
long it's been gone.
Yeah.
It's
Bad thing
crazy.
is I feel like it's a lot of these people who hate big corporations, who hate the big, conglomerates, this and that. Well, you know what, motherfucker? Them big corporations, them big conglomerates, no matter how much money they were fucking making, they still made you better off than everybody else.
Back then, yeah. Now,
Well, that's the thing is,
not
like,
so much.
historically, the person who was an entrepreneur and did stuff for themselves was who was profitable. And then there was a period of time where you could still just be a worker or a cog in the machine and you could be profitable as well. And then that got shut down because, like, no, you can't be rich. You're just the working class. And you're going, that's crazy. And this is like the problem is that people have jumped into that idea where they want to see others suffer, and you're like, yeah, that shows you having low character.
Right.
You wanting someone else to suffer, not like, look, you wanting to be successful, nothing wrong with that, but you saying, well, I want to be successful but I also want to see you fail, that means you're like, those are the people who are like, yeah, I want to be in politics. You're like, no, that person shouldn't be in politics. That person should not have a say in anything, because clearly their character is so low. They should not have an opinion that should be forced onto anyone else, because those are the people who have ruined so very much of the world, let alone a country, a community, a neighborhood, right?
I got told one time that I was being ungrateful by my manager because they gave me this was in like 2014, and they gave me like a dime raise, and I looked at them, and because he handed me some paper checks, so they handed me a check and was like, "Hey, there's a little something special in there for you." And I'm like looking, I'm like, what am I looking at? He's like, you got a raise, and I look at it, I'm like, it went up 10 cents. And then he's like, yeah. And I'm like, thanks. I can go take my girlfriend to see West Side Story this weekend.
Once upon a time,
and then he called me ungrateful.
See, I remember when a 5-10 cent raise was, that was a raise.
Yeah, back when West Side Story was coming out, right? Like,
I remember getting a fucking 50-cent raise one time, and I thought I was the fucking man.
Yeah. But that's also like, I remember when my dad worked for the city, and he was like, "Oh, I made $6,000 a year," and people were like, "Whoa, that's good money." And you're like, that was a year, and you're going, the whole world's gone crazy, man. I've heard that from my ex-manager before. Plus, being told I was, oh yeah, she had a gem of a manager who got fired. but that's, hey, like, see, this is the funny thing is, I remember when I first started working at a bank, and both me and another gentleman who worked the same branch were both religious, and we both had a convention. So I'm like, I need Friday off for this convention. And my one manager, who was one of the best managers I ever had, she goes, "Can I ask you a question?" I go, "Sure." She goes, "If I said no, what would be your response?" I'd be like, "I quit." That's it.
Jumped right to that.
And it was without hesitation. She's like, "Wow." So I'm like, yeah.
That goes back to the quote, "To thine own self be true." Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking stay here for for this.
Yeah,
you gotta make it worth it. Like I said, I remember the biggest raise I ever got, and like I was fucking dumbfounded. I started off at a job I was doing structural welding for WCI Steel, and I started off at $15 an hour. After my first month, they bumped me to $21 an hour.
Woo!
Dude, I fucking went nuts. Like, I was like, is this real? Is this?
Did somebody make a mistake? Is this someone else's
That's $21 is probably a lot of money, right?
You want to know what
$21 an hour.
As soon as Obama got elected,
oh yeah, it was the Obama years.
Whole thing got laid off.
Yeah.
Dude, the day after fucking Christmas, dude. Like we got Christmas bonuses. Everybody got a nice fat check. Everybody got off. The day we were supposed to come back. It wasn't the day after Christmas, it was the day after our Christmas vacation. Because we got a vacation everybody for Christmas. It was like a 3-4
So the
day.
first of the year. Woo!
Yep. Soon as we came back, oh, we got to tell you, we're laying everybody off.
You couldn't have called you?
No.
So I mean, like that's why a lot of people like the so-called golden Obama era. No, my era was the Bush era. Nobody fucking liked Bush, but when Bush was in office, I was able to buy my first house. I had not only a car, but a van for my family, a truck, and I was working on the way to a motorcycle. I was going on vacations. All my kids, all of them, y'all know how many fucking kids I got. All of them were paid for and taken care of well.
You know how many shoes 6 black kids wear?
And to top it off, I always had a bag of weed. Obama got in the office. I don't know what ghetto motherfuckers laid out on that one, but you know what? I was one of the ghetto motherfuckers who did not.
No. Well, see, this is the interesting part is that I remember even in the early 2000s when it was like the military complex was as peak funding, where even my dad, so there was a contract for grappling hooks, and it was for the Marines. It was 10,000 grappling hooks, and it's like good money, okay? And they were like, and my dad was like, I'm sorry, what are these being used for? And they're like, oh, they're for the Marines. And my dad goes, I'm sorry, I can't. And they're like, what do you mean you can't? You're like, I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm against war. I can't support war in that fashion, so I can't take the contract. And they were like, what if we told you they're not being used for war? And he goes, you'd have to prove it, but then I would do it. And they're like, huh, give us 20 minutes. Call back. They're like, I'm sorry, it's definitely being used for war. And he was like, I wish I could, but like, I need the business, but can't do it. And it was a whole thing where I remember they did.
Religion is so dumb. I'm sorry, but it's dumb.
Well, that's the thing is my father always stood by his principles, and I'm like, listen, as much as it hurt,
that's good on him for that.
You know, he whether good or bad, he's like, I'm sorry that I don't support war in any way, shape, or form, and that's the one thing that I was always frustrated with, and I am still frustrated. I'm like, I could have used probably some military service to straighten me out in my late teens, early 20s, and I may have been better for it, but at the same time, yeah, well, and he was like, no, we don't support war. I was like, all right, well, so be it.
Yeah,
right?
but it's not. But that's not on your dad, though. That you could have done that.
No, that was the time when I was still neck deep in everything, right? It wasn't much until much later, and then
you didn't rebel. You didn't go through like a rebellious phase.
Not really. Like my rebellious phase was I didn't get a curfew, and everyone else had a curfew, and I was like, but at the same time, I fought.
How's that rebellious?
My parents were exhausted. Well, bro, my curfew was like 10:30, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
But how's that rebellion if they allowed you to have it?
Well, no, I said either I'm moving out or I have no curfew. Those are your options. And then I goes, no, it's my house. I'm like, that's fine. I go, but you have to trust that you've done the right job in raising me, because at 8 o'clock in the morning, if I want to do cocaine off a hooker's tits, I can. And my mom was like, Dino, don't say these things. They're horrible things. And I'm like, you have to trust that I'm going to make good decisions or not.
You hear that? That's what happens when you come from a loving house.
Yeah.
You get to get older and you get to fucking start making rules.
Right.
No, let me. You know what? To this day, my mother says this door gets locked at 10:30.
Yeah. That's so. Hey,
you don't want a curfew? That's fine. But guess what? You ain't coming to sleep in the house.
Yeah, similar. Grew up with that too.
See, that's the thing is, if it was just that, I'd be like, that's fine. I'll crash on somebody's. No, my dad's like, no. You don't get your car. I'm like, okay, then I don't want to live here. I did this because he took my car away because the car was under the business, and he's like, give me your keys, and I'm like, keep them. I don't want them. That's fine. And he was like, I'm not going to play that game. And he's like, oh, why are you being like that? I'm like, I'm not being like anything. You're trying to lord this over me. And I'm telling you, best of luck. I'll go on my own. And hilariously is that if they push that, who knows what my life would have been. But, you know.
See, my mom had something similar. It wasn't, my mom had not, like, I bought the cars.
Yeah.
So I said, I bought my mom a car, bought my brother a car, bought myself a car. You know, I made sure I decided once I picked a lifestyle for myself, I was going to keep that lifestyle no matter what.
Yeah.
And that meant, you know, I was never broke. I always had a bag of weed in my pocket, and I always had a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when my mom wanted to hold the car over my head, it wasn't give me the keys. It was you woke up and all your tires were flat.
Damn.
That or my mom has been known, like my dad, it was supposed to be mine. My dad had this
Damn.
4-door Cadillac, chocolate. I will never forget this. Chocolate brown, all chromed out with the peanut butter guts on the inside. All beautiful. My mom took.
Don't finish the story. I can't listen. It hurts.
She
It already hurts. I don't know what's gonna happen. It already hurts.
Can. She started with a metal gas can. When the
No.
metal gas can decided it was no more in a shape that she could beat on things with, she grabbed. Remember the old school jacks, like the ones that you stuck under the bumper and you clicked up. Yeah, you ever see one of them get swung like a fucking baseball bat?
I have. That is,
the damage
before he cheated you.
To this car. Like she didn't even leave the hubcaps undented.
Oh, you got Carrie Underwood.
The guts. I mean, Carrie Underwood didn't have
your
shit.
Own mother,
bro.
Carrie Underwood didn't have shit on my mom. And the bad thing was, my dad was a thug. My dad was, he was known on the streets, especially on the east side. That motherfucker wouldn't even face her. He called her and told, like, he had his mother call my mother.
This is because nobody calls the fucking police on women, by the way. This is what it is. This is what, they beat the shit out of us. They break our shit, and we don't do nothing about it. We just say, "Oh, you're the crazy bitch I used to date."
She should have been in jail. Like that's. Yes. Oh, you destroyed my car. You should be in jail.
Dude,
hey, the worst. That's That's 100%. You destroyed my property. Either replace it or jail. That's it. Those are my options. It's wild to me that and like this is the thing too, and this kind of goes with it, is that idea where so many people, like, you guys, did you see that video where they interviewed a whole bunch of mothers and they were like, would you die for your child? And they were like, no. Like, hey, we're talking about multiples. And then they got to a guy and he was like, they're like, would you, or no, not only would you die, would you kill for your child? And the women were like, no. And the guys were like, would you die for your child? Of course. Would you kill for them? I'd do a lot worse than kill. I would destroy a lineage for my child. I would destroy
genocide, right?
Yeah. Take a bloodline out.
Torture.
Yeah, I would cut. For my kid,
there's a man alive who has a daughter that wouldn't, if they could do it, could physically do it. They probably die. Most of them would probably die trying, but they would do. 100%. They would in their mind. They would do. They would go out of their way to do. What is that movie called? Taken. They would try their fucking. They would die trying to be Liam Neeson.
100%. And that's the wild part where you're going. So hold on, the people who aren't willing to kill or die for their own what they popped out. Why are you like that? Like, I asked Victoria, I'm like, would you? She's like, of course I would. Like, there's no hesitation. I'm like, yeah. That's so we've entrusted all this power to people who have zero character, absolutely no character, and they're like, I'm the prize. You're not even close to a prize.
Dude, I seen a post earlier. A comedian, she's out of Las Vegas. She's posting that, so nobody's gonna talk about women losing their rights in 11 states, and then then it's back to then there was another post right after it. 23% of men are victims of domestic violence, whereas like 60-something% of women are victims of domestic violence. And tell me how again that women have all the power. Okay, stop. Wait a minute. We're gonna analyze this before I let the guys break this down. You have the power because you have the pussy, and you fucking let these trans folks fuck that up for you. So they're right there. The oldest reason to murder somebody is pussy. The second oldest is money. Right there. Every fucking war before before we got into the oil, before we got into the drugs, every fucking war was over fucking pussy. Somebody fucked somebody else. The king fucked the queen from another.
Helena of Troy comes to mind.
Cleopatra, the Queen of Sheba. She was the Queen of Sheba. She went and fucked Solomon, and then her kids stole the ark. I mean,
like this is why you're going like
Now we go to war because people move around too much on the space rock. Because we don't even give a fuck about pussy anymore.
no. Hey, what's up, Serge? How you doing?
You can't give a fuck about pussy anymore. If you give a fuck about pussy, then you're some kind of phobic.
Right.
I,
Why
like,
is it gotta be a pussy? Why can't it be a mangina?
oh, have you ever seen that tweet by one girl? It's like, I don't know what's
They
up
call
with
it
gay guys.
pussy.
Well, no, they're like, I don't know what's with gay guys. Women have buttholes too, and you're like, that's not the point. That they're fighting for the whole only 25% of gay two men relationships end in divorce. That's what they're fighting for. That's
The older I get, the more gay marriage makes sense to me. It's like he gets a full paycheck. He's not gonna whoop my ass. We're gonna play video games and drink beer. He's probably gonna let me fuck other dudes. You know, he doesn't care. You know, really. You know, he's gonna do his thing. Come home and hang out. You know, it sounds awesome. It really does.
If you play your cards right, you have a double the wardrobe. You know, you can live. You can move a couch. You can move a couch. No problem whatsoever.
You can sleep on the couch. There's two couches. One of you guys are on one side, one of you guys are on the other, and you fall asleep to the same show.
Pivot.
But this is the funny thing is like there was this one comedian, and he's like what are men afraid of homosexuals about? I'm like, yeah, because with two incomes and like I can move a couch or buy a boat. This shit would be awesome. You're like, I don't be like, hey, do you want to get a yacht? Yeah, man. We can fucking go all summer long. It'd be wicked. Like
he's not wrong.
I highly suspect that in the near future, and I think it's nearer than we think, is you're going to have guys getting married just for the sake of, oh yeah, we're not gay, but you know, we get benefits. We know what's going on. We bought stuff, like we still bang chicks, but it's like, yeah, now we have a boat. We have all this stuff. We can do anything.
Like Chuck and Larry.
100%.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a lot more of that before we start seeing things get, you know.
Well, that's like the joke I'd say, or a story I'd talk about on stage. You know, I mean, there's homophobia isn't around no more. You know, nobody's afraid to be. You know, when I was growing up, when Dino was growing up, that was real homophobia.
That was dangerous.
Damn well, the gay people that was in your
racism too.
They were buff. They took care of their house. They had a good income. They had a good car. You know, hot summer day, you're fucking sweating under a fucking car, and somebody hands you an ice cold beer and the right wrench. Oh yeah, there might be a cock in your mouth later on. You're just
Mike brought this specific situation up enough times that I'm starting to wonder if something happened in his lifetime.
No, I told you, I've thought about it. I would not be ashamed to be like, you know, that was a fear of mine. That is homophobia. That is a fear that one day I'm gonna just be like, fuck it, I'll put the cock in my mouth.
Oh my God.
It's one of those things where you're kind of going like, it's the only argument I have to being like, oh yeah, some people are born gay. Why? Because they like to suck dick. I don't think that's not for me. I'm like, yeah, that's the only because everybody else be like, that's fine. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, two incomes, move a couch, no problem. I'm down. It's great.
My understanding is go get a colonoscopy, go get your prostate exam, and if you come, then you're gay. If you don't come, then it's not for you.
That's not necessarily the truth neither, because I know a lot of dudes that like a finger in their butt, and only because their exes made fun of them afterward. But that I'm not a fan of. I've had the sneaky Pete before, and I wanted to punch.
But it was a girl finger. But it was a girl finger. It's a different one. It's the guy finger. I don't know.
It's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
A girl's finger is a little dainty, and that's another reason.
They don't know.
Hold on, Serge. So the topic is to thine own self be true. So
talking about being straight or gay right now too.
Yeah,
we're true to our sexuality. No,
Which
okay,
is,
so go back to the point I wanted to make was there is a difference because like you've jerked yourself off and you're like, I got this good. But you ever get like a hand job from a chick and you're like, God damn, this is taking this shit off.
yeah. Yeah,
Are you
do
trying
not.
to take it with you? Jesus.
Dude, I tell you what, a hand job, or even just a man's hand on your cock does not feel like a female's
What?
hand on your cock. And I know because I've been at swingers parties. I've been in orgies. You know, you look down and I was like, that hand don't feel right.
Hey,
I love how everything I say is hypothetical, but then Marco's no, like, let me tell you about a situation where it wasn't hypothetical.
Real life experience, motherfucker.
yeah. I mean,
no hypothetical here.
see,
I am telling you the truth.
I'm the
You say-
hypothesis. Marco
Listen.
is the tested method.
the only thing is Marco is like it's life experience when it's really rehashing trauma. So
Yeah.
I'm not like
Whatever, you know, whatever label you want to put
It's
on.
life experience. It's PTSD, bro.
it's a little bit PTSD. Like I mean, I get it, you know, but it's a little it's
You're John McCain in the hut, bro.
oh Jesus.
What is memories but not PTSD fucking persevering?
Yeah, well, you know,
PTSD is just a spicy memory.
it's just
That's all it is. You know, but now there's no way I could even entertain the thought of being gay now. Whereas in my life right now, it would be the best for me.
You're almost done. You've done your fucking 30 years. You're almost ready for your pension. Of course not.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, you know, just look at the gays now, the trans now. These aren't fucking gay men. These are fucking weirdos in dresses now, man.
Well, this is the thing is
nobody fucking they bring you an
hold on. So your reasoning that you can't be gay is because the gays are too feminine now.
That's right. 100%.
You're absolutely right.
Yep.
These gays aren't men anymore. Like I can't be attracted to that.
They can't help you with the couch anymore. Why would I? That was the selling feature. It's not.
You know how many good, strong gay men took a cock for the cause?
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. You can't pull you over the other side.
That's always been my thing. Where I'm like, I don't like women who are overly effeminate, and they're like, ew, and you're like, I don't grow up.
That's
right?
I get what y'all are both saying because it's like I don't really like women, so like, why would I want a woman with a dick? You know what I mean? Like,
Victoria's like, circle back to the topic. I mean, we're trying. Yeah. If anything, we're being true to our own selves. You know.
I'm being truthful. I mean, well, I can't stand to what Cole was saying though. To the overly effeminate girls or whatever. You know, there's ones that switch up. There are ones that switch up because you'll get them and they're like, oh, you know, they'll help you with this, or you see them, you know, carrying fucking wood or working on it. Then all of a sudden, oh, there's a spider. Oh, kill it with the mouse. Bitch, you were just walking a pit bull. What the fuck?
Right.
I mean, yeah. That's fine. I get it.
That's the Mexican girls you like.
No. Don't deal with the Hispanics.
White girls only, huh?
Yeah. Well, after the experience with his own mom, he's like, absolutely
That's
not.
fair.
Absolutely not.
Every one of them looks like my mom.
I tell you, and you know what I noticed over the years, they're getting darker. Even Ray is a country white girl, but you know, especially after her tanning, she looks more Puerto Rican than me.
I mean, hey, there you go.
I'm slowly but surely becoming lactose intolerant.
So here's a question for you guys to try and bring this back at the halftime here. Like what would you say would be one of your most valued principles in life? What would be that? What for you? You're like, that to my dying breath.
Huh.
It's a good question, right?
Yeah, because I'm pretty flexible on everything. Now, there's a few things that I hold, like, you know, there's that 98%. You know, there's always that 2% you'll fuck up, but the 98% of, you know, Because I have been
I think
known.
if somebody pointed a gun at me and said "shut up," I wouldn't do it. I think that's my true one, like to the grave
Shut
principle.
the fuck up!
Shut
What?
the fuck up! No,
Right.
bitch. Do
Nope.
something.
Jesus, how you doing, Jesus?
Yeah, I mean,
I really do.
that
I
is
think that's the only thing that I really would die
It's-
for. Like,
See, now I want to put a gun to Cole's head and see if it'll work. But
please don't.
I gotta wear a mask though because he's gonna be like, Mark, fucking quit fucking around.
I mean, like we finally got something going, and you're like, I'm gonna see if he's gonna die. You're like, that's not. We don't need that. That's not helpful.
Well, see, I'd have a paintball or something in it, but it's gonna be a paintball, so you're gonna have a knot there. You're gonna get knocked out. So for a quick minute, you're gonna think you're dead.
I was telling Victoria how I knew two guys who in school. It was a guy and his brother that they were a little not nuts, but like they were aggressive in how they acted. Right, very that way. But they would play Russian roulette with blanks though. And the thing is, when you shoot off a blank, it still leaves like a black circle, like right around your temple, like, and it does not come out like
You'll get a
for
fucking
time. We saw him once. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, it's a long weekend, and I'm like, no, that's not gonna cut it. I need details. I'm like,
I think
he's
you on
like,
your
so
forehead, bro.
me and my brother were bored, and I'm like,
I've
okay.
played Russian roulette a few times with live ammo. It's looking back at it, wasn't very smart fucking choices as a teenager.
No. I mean, yeah, well, like, see, this is the
I didn't
whole
lose.
idea.
I didn't lose.
No, we know you didn't lose. We put
Yeah,
that.
well.
We deduced that.
But did you win? That's the like,
right. That's the whole thing.
yeah.
I didn't lose, but did I win?
Yeah, it's well, like, and that's the thing is like for me, my thing is I'm like I've never betrayed anyone's in my like for my I've never betrayed anyone maliciously, and that's I'm like no, I would never like if you choose to end our relationship or our friendship, whatever it is, I wish you the best. It's fine. I'm like, but I won't go back. That's I'm like I don't turn around. I'm the one of those bastards. The explosion. I'm like, I don't look at the explosion. I just keep on walking. I'm already done with that.
See, I've got a couple. I've tolerated certain things to a point, and then I just had to cut them free.
Yeah.
On certain things, like I have a few of my friends, real good friends. They were addicts before we met, or even during the time we partied, and when I cleaned up, they got into either heavier shit or other shit. And once you pull some fuck shit, that's it, man. I don't mind you eating at somebody else's table. You just can't eat at mine. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want you to starve.
Right.
This isn't the place for you.
Right.
And that I feel like that's something.
That's a good, important fucking principle to have.
It is because I'm like, I don't wish ill will on anyone because I'm like, hey, you do you by all means. I'm not going to sit here and watch. And I've had friends who have relapse and stuff like that. And I'm going, hey, man, I can't follow you. I wish you the best, but I hope you get the help you need. But I'm not hanging out for this. This is not.
I just had that talk with somebody today. So.
I mean, it's even happened. Like I've even, I've run into situations in my life where, I was dating somebody or seeing somebody, and I have friends of mine, like the person that I was seeing, are telling me that my friends are acting shady, and then out of nowhere, randomly, I'll have friends say, your girl is acting shady or something like that, and you're kind of like, who do you believe?
Yeah.
Like for instance, like my ex, when her and I first were having problems, supposedly a buddy of mine, Spider, was hitting on her and shit. And trying to get real friendly with her or whatever. And for the longest time, like after me and my ex worked things out, she wouldn't tell me why she didn't like Spider. And then she fucking told me, he ain't your friend, this, and this. Whereas when I confronted him about it, I'm like, dude, how would you like if I fucked your wife? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, when you guys were having problems, I was there for you. I was there for your old lady. Not once did I ever have any kind of intention on moving in on your old lady or anything. but me and my old lady are having problems, and you want to fucking throw dick at her,
Right.
and now, mind you, I don't know who was telling the truth. Could have been him, could have been her, but had to fucking cut him loose.
Did he say no, I never tried, or did he admit it or no?
No, he said it never happened. So
I mean, with a name like Spider,
like
it's
a little
hard
bit.
to tell.
we were all bikers, man. And again, I don't wish no ill will on him. I don't wish no ill will on it. That was fucking at least 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I mean, though, to be fair, though, to Spider, you cut him loose without any proof on either end.
Right. And I ended up cutting her loose too.
I mean, yeah, but
see, you know what? The
weird though,
and this is the problem too, is that, hey, Serge, you know what? Like drywall truck tonight, it makes my job hard. I can imagine. So drywall is never fun. I'll tell you that right now. But like, that's one of those things where I have learned where it's like, oh, you're saying one thing and you're saying the other thing. Hey, by the way, you can both go. Have a great time. I'm not doing that.
I just don't like that. Like getting rid of both people for one, only because one of them's a liar. Like
in my eyes, at that point, they were both pieces of shit. But I kept the fuckable piece of shit around for a little bit longer.
I mean, okay, so here, this is a good question. When you guys say you don't wish ill will on someone, does that mean you won't punch them in the face, or that still includes face punching? So
you can punch them in the face, you just don't want like them to catch cancer or something.
I still wouldn't hit them full force. I'll punch them so they know.
I'm not the Jolly Green Giant up here. I'll punch the fuck out of them.
I would break their nose. I wouldn't break their face.
Like I don't like when I don't wish no ill will on somebody, that I will totally fight the fuck out of them. What I don't wish is for them to like something to happen to their family or something fucking shitty to happen in their life where it affects them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Like I just want to fuck them up. Yeah, but I just don't wish nothing past what I can do to you.
Yeah. I'll punch you in the face so you remember not to cross me, but I don't want you to fall and break your neck. That's
See, I'm at the level where like you come at me, and whatever force that you come at me with, I'm coming at you with, and just a little bit more. So you're gonna make that determination. You want to throw one at me, and you crack it. Okay, bah! Now we even, or we gonna go a little bit more.
Kevin Gates once said, "If you take a shot at me, I'm gonna send like 30 back."
I don't think I've ever been the first one to throw a punch. Probably ever.
I have a couple times, but my when I throw the first punch, it's like I've noticed it's when somebody went at one of my friends.
Yeah.
Like there was one point, I think I might have even said something on one of the other shows about it. I was a DJ at a bar. My buddy Jack was helping out the barmaid taking out bottles to the dumpster, and he has this big fucking I don't know, tray with bottles on the motherfucker. And this one drunk dude gets up, and now I saw him push Jack. I seen Jack fly back a couple steps. Jack said the dude never put his hands on him. Either way, when I saw Jack fly back, I jumped over. Like you can even my son was like, "Dad!" I jumped over the first punch. Jack. I jumped over Jack and I cracked that fucker in his face.
You didn't throw the first punch technically.
Yeah. You were defending someone else, and that's one of those things where I've never thrown a punch for a friend, but I've grabbed somebody by the scruff of their neck and lifted them off my friend. And I'd be like, "You need to stop," and they're like, "What?" And I just come close. I'm like, "Or you cannot," and they're all like, "I'll stop." I'm like, "Good." That was actually at a comedy show. Two guys. This guy, a comedian, called a guy gay. And the guy, the funny thing is, the guy's like, "What?" And as soon as he started heading, you could see the comedian shit his pants, right there, because he had nothing, right?
And that's what it took, really?
He said, "I'm sorry." Well, he said, "I'm sorry, I don't deal with gay men like that." And the guy was like, "Who the fuck?" Just freaked out. Now that guy kept on going at it, and I walked up beside him. I put my arm around him, and then I put my hand on his chest, and I went nipple to nipple with my hand. I said, "Hey man, why don't you go over there and have a drink and calm down?" And he looked down because I am palming his entire chest at this point, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I'll go calm down." I'm like, that's a good idea, and just turned him around and sent him on his way. Yeah, like, yeah, I never, because I'm you know what? I've always been afraid. I'm like, bro, I'll grab a motherfucker and start swinging that motherfucker against motherfuckers. Like, it's not like I'll just, I'll, so I'll hit you with a person. I don't care.
My problem is, but like, I always feel like I got sucker punched. I'd be like, y'all, you fucking sucker punched the shit out of me, and everybody else was like, yeah, but you were talking a lot of shit there for a minute. And I was like, was I? I didn't even. I wasn't even going hard. My bad. Like,
Yeah.
How'd you get that black eye? Ryan hit me. Ryan just punched me out of nowhere. I wasn't doing nothing. No, you've talked shit about Ryan for about 40 years.
Touche. Yeah. This idea that there may be no more income taxes, bro. If that happens, everything's going to change. I'll tell you that.
I can't wait.
Oh, come on, nobody can. That's great. It's been 100 years too late, right? There's no reason why income tax should have happened. But look, I digress. The whole idea behind that is like, I laugh when people will talk shit and then I talk shit again back at them, and then they're like, you want to go? And I'm like, what? You talk shit, I talk shit. I'm just better at it. Just take the L. Don't be all butt hurt, If you can't handle the fire, get out of the kitchen.
Well, that's the problem I have is I live in a fucking my own bubble where if you generally don't if we're having fun, we're having fun. So if we're talking shit, we're just talking shit. But if you slam my door or whatever, or put your hands on me, now we have to cut each other's throats. As long as you over there and I'm over here, we can talk shit all night. I don't care. I'm having fun with it.
Well, if that's your case, you're racist. You only do that to white people. I've never seen you do that to anybody with any kind of melanin, including me, because I purposely slammed your door.
Okay, but that was okay. But Marco, you did that afterwards to make fun, and that it was funny when you did it. Also, you're my boy. Ryan has never been my boy, and I've made sure he knows he's not my boy. You know what I mean? Dino, a couple of my siblings can slam my door, and the worst we're gonna get is, hey, don't fucking slam my door.
One at a time, you dirty sluts. But also too, when he slammed your door, I turned around and went, hey man, you don't slam people's doors like that. That's not immediately when it happened. I'm like, you owe
mine too.
Yeah. Victoria says never start anything you can. That's 100% factual. Listen, I am happy to be in the 51st state, and you know what? Just because we join forces does not make me any less Canadian or Greek. That's fair.
You'll be one of the Canadian states of America.
We'll be a northern version of Puerto Rico. That's fine. Yeah.
No, okay they're a territory. They're not a state. They don't get to vote.
Dude, you know what's something I read?
I don't want to vote. I don't vote here. I'm going to vote there. Get the fuck out of here.
Not to jump topic, but I mean, I found something that was weird today that I've never heard, especially in all the research that I've had to do just to prove other people wrong. The Puerto Ricans, I guess, helped the Irish get their fucking sovereignty or some shit like that on St. Patrick's Day.
Some shit. They're both Mexicans.
This person that has lived or come from the closest thing to a fucking Mexican border.
The Irish are white Mexicans. Don't argue with me. You know it's true. Those are the white. Those are the white Mexican. They're Mexican as fuck, bro.
Kind of cholo-ish.
His name is Conor McGregor. That is the most Mexican thing I've ever heard. The most Caucasian Mexican I've ever heard. Conor McGregor.
During the 17th and 18th century, Puerto Rico saw a significant influx of Irish military officers and colonial officers in Spanish service. And later, during the Great Famine of 1840, many Irish sought refuge there after being turned away from U.S. ports. That is it. That's what actually happened.
Nice.
Yeah. See, this is.
My bad, Mark. I didn't mean to talk over you.
Puerto Rican leprechauns.
Are they shorter than normal? I feel like they would be shorter than normal.
Can you imagine? like a leprechaun, but its hat is like a baseball cap that's sideways.
It's a leprechaun, but he's like a little bit gangster.
Yeah.
He's just a little
It ain't
bit
a pot of gold. It's a big fat gold chain around his neck.
Yes, it's all chain link. Yeah,
There's a leprechaun eating a bacon, egg, and cheese.
No, that would be an American leprechaun.
A bacon, egg, and cheese, that's a Puerto Rican thing. They love them things. I mean, everybody loves bacon, egg, and cheese, but Puerto Ricans specifically.
I feel like a Puerto Rican leprechaun would be shorter, but an American leprechaun would be fatter.
Yes.
That's, I feel,
And the Puerto Rican or American leprechaun wouldn't have gold. It'd be all a credit card or Bitcoin.
Yeah. And a Canadian leprechaun, just really hairy. Same, but just really hairy. Excessively, they're like, it's part of the cold. Whatever. Yeah.
Instead of Jameson, they drink Malibu.
Jesus Christ. And the rainbows, very different.
Yeah, they ain't very rainbows in Puerto Rico.
One color. There's only one color in the rainbow. Puerto Rico. That's fine. Yeah. That's
the rainbow comes after a giant ass hurricane.
What?
I said red, white, and blue. It's just in a different order.
Something
about a hurricane.
Hey, we all know.
I was saying the rainbow comes after a massive hurricane.
Dude, we only got to touch on this a little bit earlier. Did you see that there's all kind of weird weather fuck shit going on in America?
Yeah, I noticed that actually.
Going down in Texas, there's big fires going. Where were the fires?
Oklahoma, I think.
Like because of the tornado. Oh, it's Tornado Alley, right?
Yeah.
There was a
what
video
does that got to do with fire?
Because it damages gas lines and stuff like that, and then
I've never heard of a tornado fucking starting a fire ever in my life.
Yeah,
really?
Well,
they're burning up Diddy's fucking other fucking hiding spots. That's what that is.
It can be a cause for like a electrical fire, like normally, and this interestingly enough is the same thing where they were talking about in Hawaii, where they're like, oh, we turned off the water so that to safeguard things. And you're like, that's a mistake, but they will turn off electricity in advance to make sure nothing explodes because
and gas lines if they can.
Because, well, that's the thing is an electrical fire will go mental in a tornado, right?
I'm telling you right now, they're hiding Epstein evidence. That's what they're doing.
Dude, that evidence has been gone. That shit was gone in the first Trump fucking...
Diddy then, or anybody else. You think they're the only two?
No.
Here's a question for you. Like, considering what we know about the music industry in Hollywood and how... predatory or abusive those environments are, if someone like there's been rumors about this where people are like, oh, they were like, yeah, you gotta suck this dick and then you'll be famous, and people are like, I'm not doing that, and other people are like, and they go for it, and you're kind of going like, that's one of those things where I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm not, no thanks.
Now, have you guys watched any of the Orlando Brown interviews and videos?
I have.
Yeah. Dude, if what he's saying is true, that's messed up. And even Cat Williams, the one that, he said he made love to Cat Williams. He made love to Drake. Because they was asking him, you hit this, you hit that. And there was a couple of them, I hit that. But then he was like, no, I made love to this person. I made love to that. I'm like, oh, okay. And did you hear Busta Rhymes now is in the mix of all that Diddy shit?
Dang.
Yeah.
We're getting everybody. I'm so glad we weren't famous yet.
I mean, yeah.
Well, this goes back to
we get to be famous post Diddy.
Yeah.
When this first popped off, and it's just like what Dino was talking about. This is not the dawn of Hollywood. This is not the heyday of the fucking industry anymore. So everybody know, every female, especially every tall blonde bombshell, knows if you're going to get into Hollywood, to get into any kind of movie, you're fucking your way to the audition, let alone anything past that. You're there's going to be a cock in your mouth, and if not, then you're not going to make it. That's just the way that's the way it is. Now,
it's called dedication.
That being said, did these people get forced into a lot of these because all these Diddy parties, these people already obviously knew what was going on. They went there anyways. So they went there of their own volition. So now, did they get forced into something or did they dangle the fucking forbidden fruit there and they decided to eat it?
See, that's always been the big fucking thing with me. Like, it's like well, every time they bring one of these up, it's like, well, they made me do it. Did they make you do it, or did they just say, "Hey, do you want the job?" Or it's shitty, but it's not as bad as making you do it.
Well, listen, there's a whole story about how you guys heard about how Harvey Weinstein would want to have meetings in his hotel room, which you're like, don't do that. Just don't do that, right?
What the fuck you were going to that hotel room for?
But interestingly enough, so David Schwimmer, okay, Ross from Friends, they were saying how he was exactly just to call it back. He was saying how one girl was saying how she was talking with him and they were in the lobby of a hotel. That was where they were meeting. And she was like, "Hey, it's a little noisy. Maybe we should go to your room." He's like, "You have to call one of your friends to be a chaperone. Otherwise we can't go to my room. That's not okay." And she was like, "Oh yeah, no." She's like, "I'm okay with it." She said, No. You have to have a chaperone with you. Otherwise, I'm not comfortable with it. And you're going, that's a stand-up guy. Like, bro, I've gone into rooms where people are like, "Oh, can you close the door?" I'm like, "I'd rather leave it open."
It's not just a stand-up guy. He's protecting his fucking image.
He's protecting. Well, in my opinion, he's protecting everyone involved. He's like, "Hey,
everybody honest. It's keeping everybody honest."
Yeah, and
no matter what, if they show, even if they went to that room and did nothing but have a fucking meeting, there are camera and videos showing these two together. They're showing them all walking all the way to the room. They're showing going into the room. And the way our media goes today, that is enough to say, Swimmer fucked this chick and that kid is his. Where's her $1 million and something a month child support?
Right.
Bro, they still make mad cash from just syndication. So
yeah,
that's why, like, that's that idea where you're like, when you have two sides of the coin where you have people treating some people like shit, then you have other people taking advantage of other people. You're like, I don't understand when people lost the ability to judge people's character.
I'm getting a bald spot.
You keep on touching it, it's going to get worse.
Is that how it works?
That is how it works.
The fucking spray hair off.
I mean, yeah. You're going to have to start dyeing it. That's fine. No, I'm
too much mousse in there.
Too much. Well, you know, I believe it.
And I'm not talking about the hair stuff. There's that chocolate shit from the cake the other day. It blew up everywhere. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
Should have been. It's molten. You son of a bitch.
There was, dude. No lie, because I still have a little bit of that belly left. And when I got in the shower afterwards, I'm looking up there. I'm like, "Yo, why am I bleeding? I'm bleeding a lot." It was cake batter under my belly. Like, I thought I was stabbed. I was like, "Am I hurt? Am I hurt?" It was like, "Oh, it's cake batter." Oh, okay. All right.
I think it was a stab wound.
I mean, okay, I've said this before. I'm like, this is what happens when you live in hostile territory behind enemy lines. Like, I just assume I got stabbed. It couldn't be cake batter. It was definitely violence.
You know, walking
Dude, talking about right, I was scared, man. It was a lie.
Cut across my arm. Oh, did I get stabbed?
I mean, bro, you know what? I find it funny because, like, under my gut, like, the skin is super soft, and I'm like, if I wear my underwear too low or anything like that, I'm like, it chafes, and I'm like, it will bleed, and I'm just like, God, I'm dying. Yeah, it was not cake batter. So.
It's not cake batter.
It was not.
You have super burn.
No, I had to explain this to somebody. I'm like, this is the longest I've had pants in my entire life. Like,
oh, because you're not having the
no chub rub. No chub rub. I'm like, bro, my pants have been lasting, and I'm like, I have like way too many pants. I don't know why my pants are disappearing. And Victoria's like, it's because you're not starting a nuclear fission between your legs.
Fire.
You ever wear corduroys?
No, are you kidding me? Corduroys wouldn't last the night. If I wore corduroys, not the night, it wouldn't last. Okay.
Take Dino
to
the bonfire. We need a match. Dino, walk around.
Like, yeah, immediately just into fire. that seems accurate.
Start a grease fire up in that bitch.
All right, so we have just to round this thing out. I think one of the things is that the stronger your principles are, the stronger your character is. And when you see people fold, to me, that's a warning that you're like, if you're not going to stand by your own principles, how can I trust that you would stand up for my principles? You know, I think that's one of the key takeaways from something like this. But like that idea where it's like, if I like, it's that whole idea. I'm like, if you can lie about that, then I can't believe that you're not lying about everything, right?
See, I see it more towards, stay to what you believe in and what you feel is right, but also stay flexible and open-minded enough to know you might be fucking wrong. You know, and if you are wrong, take accountability on that shit. Be man enough or person enough to be like, okay, I was fucking wrong. And now
that's a big one.
I think that's important. Okay, Sasha, I don't know if I should feel personally attacked or not. She's like, I do a homemade oil to help your scalp and rejuvenate your hair growth, which I feel personally attacked, but that's fine. It helps.
Well, I think she's bringing it up for me specifically. She doesn't want my hair to line to go.
Boil cloves, then add clove water to black seed oil and rub that on your scalp before bed.
I think I just did my fucking hair weird.
That sounds like the stuff my grandma used to have in a little tincture bottle, but there was rosemary added to it. It's all the same ingredients, but with rosemary.
I was using rosemary, avocado, and peppermint oil for a while, and I didn't. You men are too sensitive. Yes, you're absolutely correct, Sasha. We have feelings and emotions. We're very sensitive.
Men are more sensitive than women are. I really do. I think y'all just play the game up. Y'all be like, fucking sympathy and shit. We're just like, I'll fucking kill everybody for what you said to me.
See, I think it's opposing. So women start off more sensitive and become hard, where men start hard and become more sensitive in time.
Yeah, it's like the boiled egg and the boiled potato. There's an egg and a potato. One gets hard, one gets soft.
Yeah.
No, I just
think about which one gets hard.
As I got older, my eyes got more open to the bullshit, and I lost a lot of my sympathy and compassion and empathy, which I had very small amounts to begin with, being from my upbringing.
Yeah,
so,
I
don't have sympathy for people.
No,
I'm more emotional for sure.
Yeah. Victoria says, "I'm just a rock." That's also true.
We knew it.
Hey, I said this.
You're Patrick.
I said this on stage, and I'm like, my wife doesn't have emotions. She had good grades growing up, and she's Asian, so it doesn't have emotions.
She got good grades as an Asian.
What kind of Asian is she? Is she Chinese?
Yeah, she's Chinese.
Yeah, so she's a survivor. She made it out. She wasn't even supposed to be here.
That's a woman, yeah.
And she got good grades. Well, Asian get good grades, no shit. But I mean,
if she got good grades, then she shouldn't have to be a rock, because then she didn't really get whooped that much, you know?
Oh, no. See, this is the difference. Like, if I got good grades, I would be praised and applauded by my family, because my one brother who died, he had good grades, and they were like, oh, he's the greatest. He was a piece of shit. Whereas Asians, if you didn't get perfect, you're still on the shit list. It doesn't. Yeah, no.
Did she not get perfect grades?
She did. She actually got above perfect in some things, I think, and still is not. Yes, I agree. Women can make men better. See, this is the thing: is I think
perfect.
That goes both ways. I think men and women can create bitterness, and that's why, like,
not bitter. Come on.
No, bitter.
100%.
I was trying to be positive.
It's look, it comes down to that saying, and I told Marco this, and Marco just looked at me. He was like, "Fuck you." I go, a person who is not spoon-fed love will learn to lick it off the edge of a knife. That's yeah, and you're going, that hurts, because you're like, that's the thing, is because we all will strive to be
metal through our tongues.
Because you're a slut. That's why, you dirty whore. It's one of those things where you're like,
sometimes I'll eat pudding with a fork because it's washed.
What?
You ever try to eat ice cream with a tongue ring?
No, I don't have hungry.
Yeah, that's a bitch, dude.
Every time I get a piercing, the shit swells up like crazy. Like I turn into like a balloon animal.
You mean like Road Trip where they could let's talk like this because it doesn't slowing?
No, like I'm allergic to something.
Yeah, pain.
Cheap metal?
Probably.
Is that?
That was right. Pain is just weakness leaving the body,
If you
though.
go
So.
get your fucking piercings at the Carney.
I was
You know,
doing
and
it
the only
Claire's.
reason why I say that, I got a daughter who did it, and her belly button, she came home, and her belly button was green.
Oh,
I did it at Claire's. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't do it at Claire's.
I remember there was a bunch of girls on the bleachers in like grade 7, and they were all huddled together, and they were piercing each other's ears, and I'm like, that's FICO. And they were like, we it was fine, and I'm like, it's not fine. You just poked holes in each other. That's just weird. But
My sister let her 16-year-old friend when she was 16 also tattoo on her. My sister to this day has 2 tattoos that she got from a 16-year-old tattooist.
Like that.
Yeah, stupid. They're
and this
the
is-
dumbest tattoos I've ever seen too.
I got a
mean,
stupid one like that on my ankle, man. The fucking
unpierced and untattooed. I feel like I'm some sort of leprechaun here. That's fine. Anyways,
Big
this
ass
has been-
leprechaun.
I'm.
Jesus, fucking Christ.
Can you imagine
Holy
if a leprechaun shows up and they're my size? And you're like, what the hell? And they're like, the studies are wrong.
Hey, my pot of gold, bitch.
Can you imagine? Anyway,
You
This
ate
has-
the other leprechauns, all of them.
let me finish the show, you pricks. This has been Life of Giants, everyone. We're going to be back on Wednesday with Upside Down Studios, talking, just with What the Fuck Wednesdays. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things.
Yeah,
God willing, we
specifically to try to fucking not get shut down.
Yeah, it's going to be nothing we talked about today. Everything will be a new topic that is not that is fully permitted by the NSA. There you go. We'll do that. That's
And we'll have the allegedly ban all of the ticker going the whole time.
Hey, maybe you should get one of these. Just parental advisory, explicit content.
I got a whole background that says it. I'll fucking put it up.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your Monday, everyone, and we will be back. I might.
Say, don't get all hammered up and bash your ride up or your old lady.
That's an American like
it is
immigrant leprechaun. He's American now. That's a big ass fucking leprechaun.
It also it is St. Patty's Day, so don't leave the bar at 2:00 in the morning. Leave at a much early hour and get home safe, because at 2:00 the people who are driving should not be on the road. Be safe out there, everyone.
Dino, you're like a shamrock quake.
Why?
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I hate you so much on so many levels. You know what? You are motivated. I'm gonna get abs just to shove them in your face.
You're gonna be a shamrock quake, bro. You're too damn big.